All the greatest gains in life, in wealth, relationships, or knowledge, come from the magic of compounding interest, amplifying small, steady gains. All you need for abundance is to keep on adding 1% or more than you subtract on a regular basis. Kevin Kelly. My friends, that's what we go for each and every day, is small, steady gains of knowledge. And then once you gain that knowledge, it's just small, steady gains in the market each and every day, punching it out. And it compounds and compounds and compounds beyond your wildest imaginations. Let's jump into these charts. This is a day where everything is down. The big downer for the day isn't Bitcoin. It's actually gold. Let's jump into the S&P 500, pulling back a little bit, just a little over 0.5%. Now, as we look at the high last week, we've gone through this week, it was 609.07. This week, the high 608. So we've not 43. We've not hit the high of last week. We can see that we're almost to the end of the week. Unless we have a big day tomorrow, we will not get to average. You can see this black line, the average is continuing to decrease in volume as these weeks go on without even average volume. So it is slowing down. We look at the 2-day chart. Monday, Tuesday was a doji. Wednesday, Thursday is a doji. We see where things popped up yesterday on Wednesday, down today on Thursday, pushing through. It'd been riding up the weekly trend line on the half day, pushed through at the end of the day. So we'll see if we're getting a topper here. Nothing's helpful in showing that for us with the volume, which we like to help us see a top. We don't see that. So we will keep an eye on things and see if we're going to have a Santa Claus rally. Things are just sort of digesting the last several weeks of nice gains, and we'll just be patient. The NASDAQ 100 did reach a higher high this week. You can see where it's moving away from that prior decent weekly trend line. Look at the 2-day as it edges up. Look at the half day. You can see where we had a big day yesterday. And then doji in the morning, doji in the afternoon, lower volume. So again, slowing up, maybe digesting some gains. We'll continue to keep our eyes on stocks as we move into Friday. Now look at this. Interesting. I told you I wasn't interested in jumping into this up move in bonds because it was weak. It didn't have high volume on the bottom, interim bottom, nor did it on the turnaround, nor did it have a green spinning top, which is what I want on a turnaround. And of course, we had it go up 1 week, last week, and then just dying on the vine this week, down for the day 1.21%. You can see where this 2-day chart just dove through the weekly trend line. Half day has been going down since Monday. A down week all week, accelerating here on volume and on price, heading down. So again, we weren't in this trade on bonds. We don't have any volume to help us see which way things are going. And we're just waiting for it to figure itself out, give us some kind of signal we can read, and move on it. Gold. We look at gold. We had, again, this nice classic turnover. We did have enough of a move down that following week to get one-time ATR on the down move. But as we look at what's happened over the last prior 3 weeks, just really sideways sliding, tending down a little bit. This week popped up, green candle, and we can see where it went up on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but man, Thursday rolled over heavy, 1.47% going down. Look at all the volume here. We'll just keep an eye on things as it paired off strong. Don't know where gold's going to go, and the charts aren't helping us out much either. So we'll just continue to watch as they sort of move along, up, down. Who knows? And again, if we don't have clear telltale signs via the charts, then we just leave that ETF or stock alone and we find one that gives us signals. And speaking of signals, don't forget Patreon members. We post every Thursday at the Patreon page in case you, for some reason, don't get the email. You'll also find there Charting Cryptos, Commodities, and Currencies. As soon as we record it, we post it for Patreon members, released to everybody on Friday. But your weekly vertical crossovers, we look for up to 20 of them. Those are stocks on the S&P 500 that are crossing over, going up or down on the weekly chart. We try to add some volume to that and give you some that might have, that are valuable for you to consider. Practice trading. Now, so gold, don't know what gold's doing. Let's move on from gold to Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin down for the day, 1.47%. Bitcoin was down on Monday and Tuesday, popped up on Wednesday, and then Thursday tried to move up in the morning, and then blowing it off strong in the afternoon, staying below that weekly trend line. The half-day chart went through it on the Monday, Tuesday, and on this red spinning top. The 2-day chart went through it on Monday, Tuesday. On the 2-day chart, that is the weekly trend line, it penetrated and has stayed below it on the Wednesday, Thursday. And again, we can see on the weekly chart, we've not hit the high of last week. We're just barely, maybe not even up to half the volume of last week, even up to average. So we'll keep our eye on things. Bitcoin tends to hammer up and then sort of play around at a level, maybe pull back where people are taking some profits and then perhaps move up again. But after the Trump election and the pro-Bitcoin moves that we saw going back to the 6th, the day after the election, man, Bitcoin rallying quite strong, pulling back for a couple of days, rallying again, pulling back for a couple of days, popping back, and then this latest move. Of course, last week we hit that high of highs. Very beautiful for Bitcoin, but pulling back for the day. So again, we'll continue to keep our powder dry, figure out which way Bitcoin is going to go in the long term and in the short term. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.